All right, we're back with another episode of Grateful Gratitude. Frito here, Lolo there, and Lolo, we're going to talk about love today.
We're going to talk about love, one of my favorite topics. I did a study on the different types of love that's in the Bible because I knew that there was brotherly love. I'd heard a lot about brotherly love and love one another. But I wanted to jump a little bit deeper and talk about two other specific types of love. And Frito, I know you were at a meeting where I was teaching this, so you should be well versed when I need your help. But there's one type of love in the Bible that's called pragma love. And when you think of this type of love, this is the love that you usually see between a man and a woman who have been married for a period of time. They fell in love initially, but then as they start to go through the trials of life that, make them stronger and hold them together, it's called pragma love. And it's truly standing in love instead of falling in love. Does that make sense, Mark?
Yes, it does. And a lot of people that have been married for a while fall into that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that when they start to get those tough times in a marriage, maybe it's a financial thing, or maybe they're having difficulties with a stepchild, or even their own child, or, they tend to succumb to the world, meaning they break down, they have anxiety, they have stress. But when you have a partner, being personally my husband, and your future wife, when
Slow down.
when you when you have that solid love, it's a time that you stand together, you respect each other, you don't judge each other. Right now I'm going through some health issues with my parents. And it makes me realize that when my husband lost his parents several years back, and he was flying back and forth from Nashville here, I might not have been as kind and extend the proper grace now that I'm walking in it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the ability to just trust and love each other in any situation. Extending grace. What do you think, Mark?
I think that's something that you can see in couples, and it's something that I tend to get a little jealous of that at times when I see couples that have been, and usually it's couples that have been, like you said, together for a long time, before you fall into that category.
Well, Wes and I are going to celebrate our 15th wedding anniversary this month. Well, and Ty and Lexi, I think got married on our anniversary, so we all share the same anniversary. But the one thing that I think that makes my marriage so strong is it's a second marriage for both of us. We both had spouses in our first marriage that were addicted to alcohol. His ex-wife was addicted to painkillers, where mine was addicted to methamphetamine. I think that when sometimes you've been through a very similar walk, you tend to appreciate the other a little bit more, because you can say, I have walked that walk. And I think that when you walk that difficult walk like he and I did the first time around, you recognize that the second marriage is stronger. And I made a checklist. The first time I got married, I said, I'm going to marry someone who's over 6 feet tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of a rough kind of guy, laborer type of thing. And that's what I married. When I got divorced, I made that list again, and that list was so totally different. I want a man that believes in God. I want a man that'll be at home and love my daughter because she's my daughter. That list was so different. And I think that's why Wes and I can stand in that love today. And that's why your future life will be that type of person too, because of the walks that you have been through that maybe would change who you would marry.
I was just going to ask you that. Obviously, um, you didn't want, when you got married the first time, you weren't thinking, I'm getting married this time to prepare myself for my second marriage. But how much do you think, both of you, your first marriages prepared you for this second marriage? And um, how much credit do you give the issues that you had to deal with before into the happiness that you have now?
So when I was 16, I used to always say, I'm going to be married twice, once for experience and once for love.
Oh, you did?
Had no idea why I ever said that. I just think maybe God prepared me and was saying, you got to walk this walk. I think that what I did when I got divorced, I looked at what blessings I had from that marriage, which was Lexi. That really was the only thing positive that I could take away at that time. And I took 1 year before I dated or anything, and I just looked at myself and said, who am I? What kind of wife can I offer to be to the right man? And I worked on myself first. And then I made that laundry list and, kind of threw it out to God. But I definitely said, I want a man that works hard. I want a man that's heart is good. And I want a man that, doesn't sit at the bars, doesn't cheat on me. It wasn't about the physical appearance. And I love my husband to death.
He's a good looking guy.
I just absolutely love him. So I don't ever want that to come off wrong. But it was so superficial the first time. I mean, I wanted to have a different last name. I wanted to be married because that was the thing to do. It was also for the wrong reasons. But so I don't know.
I love the 16-year-old Lori Roberts, or whatever your maiden name was, knew that I'm getting married twice. That's great. I love it.
It was Lori Butler at the time. And then I became Lori Durker. After I divorced, well, the guy that was building our house when we got divorced, his name was Dave Roberts, okay? The crazy thing about this was he was separating from his wife. And, you're in kind of a funky place when you're getting divorced, and you kind of look at everybody kind of as a potential new mate, And I thought, what if I was Lori Roberts? I could be Lori Roberts.
Great name.
Lori LoLo Roberts. So I always think that that's just God kind of saying, prepare yourself. This is what's coming, in a very subtle way.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I'm wishing that love for you when the time is right.
That's good. When the time is right.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready. But that's what I hope for you. So moving on, we'll talk about another type of love. And you've probably heard many times about agape love, totally unconditional love. And it's kind of hard sometimes to wrap our head around unconditional love, because most of us know conditional love. We know that we put conditions on things like, if you get good grades and behave as a child, I'm kind of going to love you a little more. That's very superficial the way I said that. But conditionally, you're going to have to do something in order to receive my love. Unconditional love is totally the opposite. And it's what God gives us, is that he's going to love us no matter what. He's not going to judge us. And we don't have to do anything in return except be his children.
Yeah. Just accept him. Just accept the gift that he's giving you, the gifts that he gives you. And, I don't have any kids, but I would imagine it's close to a parent's love for their child. I mean, I can't imagine what Lexi would have to do, if you do anything, for you to say, I don't love you anymore. Now, you may treat her a little bit better, like you're saying, if she's pleasing you a little bit more, but she's not going to lose your love for her. And that's the love that, take it to the next level that the Lord has for us. If we accept him, there's nothing we can do that's going to, he's going to love us. And we just have to accept it.
Yeah.
We get to accept it.
One of the difficult things, and I work with a lot of victims of violent crime, and some of these single moms have been through some really tough times, but offering that love, unconditional love, to somebody who has done something very destructive to you is very tough. It's a lot to ask of someone, but I think it's one of the most cathartic things and the most healing that we can do to restore ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have talked about people who have, publicly tore me down in front of people. We've discussed this many times, and yet I know God wanted me to forgive that person and know that maybe that person didn't realize it would traumatize me so bad. But we've talked about offering that love, finding good in that person to heal ourselves, not to heal them, but to heal us.
Exactly. And it's a very fine line, because a lot of people would say what I'm about to say could be really unhealthy, but loving those people that don't deserve our love. I put deserve in quotes, but when you think about it, we don't deserve his love for us. We fall short, and people are always going to fall short. And it's loving people when you know that they're not really worthy of your love, but you're so secure with yourself, and your belief in the Lord, that if the Lord's going to love you when you don't deserve his love, that makes it a little bit easier for you to love someone who doesn't deserve your love. That doesn't mean that you need that person to walk all over you. It just means that you're more capable of handling it. It's more, like you said, it's more for you than that other person.
Yeah, because every time I have done this little exercise, I told you about that when someone hurts me or purposely does something against me, instead of holding that grudge, I try to find 3 things about them that's positive. And, I've told you sometimes it's pretty superficial things, like they've got clean fingernails. But that's a step forward, and I honestly feel better after finding 3 things in a situation that wasn't pleasant. I know I've heard
now it can be frustrating for me, though, to have personal conversations with you when I just want to just trash someone or rag on someone, and you're like, whoa, that person has clean fingernails. What are you doing? You're always finding the positive, which is good.
It wouldn't be a very good gratitude coach if I didn't, right?
My tongue's in my cheek when I say it's frustrating, because it's really good to see. It really, in all reality.
I just know there's sometimes you and I have a conversation and I can just see you saying, dang it, I just let me go. Let me go. Find in the gut, just let me vent. And
let me have some fun, okay?
Yeah. But, that's just, I guess if we could, strive, Imago Dei, which is, the image of God. And, we are to be Christ-like. And that all comes from love and kindness, right? Jesus is all about love and being kind. I mean, he healed lepers. He touched lepers. He would, pick up prostitutes and lift them up and make them better people. Thieves, anybody that was so broken was who he wanted to help first. And that is a type of love that we all need to strive to give to others. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your past is. I had a single mom that I'm helping right now. She says, I want you to hear my whole story. And I said, I don't need to hear it unless you need to tell it, because it doesn't matter how I'm going to help you because of what you've been through. Matter of fact, a lot of times we're better off not knowing that past.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, thank you again, Mark. I'll take you down
Thank you.
the road. Until we see you guys again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Grateful Gratitude. We'll see you out there somewhere. So have a wonderful day, and we'll keep praying for you.